Edgar Schein was a well-known organizational psychologist and a former professor at the MIT Sloan School of Management. He's widely recognized for his work on organizational culture, leadership, and career development. One of his most influential ideas is a model that explains how culture forms and operates within organizations. This model helps us understand not only what culture looks like on the surface, but also what lies beneath it and how it shapes employee behavior and business practices. Schein suggested that organizational culture exists at 3 levels. Each level represents a different depth of cultural expression and influence. At the surface, we have what he called artefacts. These are the visible, tangible aspects of a workplace. Things like the dress code, how the office is laid out, the formal processes people follow, common rituals, the language or jargon used, and even the company logo. These things are easy to see, but they don't always reveal the true nature of an organization's culture. They give clues, but interpreting them properly requires looking deeper. The next level is what Schein called espoused values. These are the values and beliefs that an organization says it holds. They can be found in mission statements, codes of conduct, diversity policies, and leadership messages. In theory, they express what the organization believes in. But there's an important point here. They don't always match up with how people actually behave. Spotting the difference between stated values and real behavior can tell you a lot about how authentic the culture really is. And then, at the deepest level are the basic assumptions. These are the unconscious, taken-for-granted beliefs that truly shape how people think, feel, and act at work. They're often invisible and unspoken, but they have the most power. These are the deep beliefs about things like human nature, time, power, or truth. For example, whether people believe employees are naturally motivated, or that conflict should always be avoided. Because they're so ingrained, these assumptions can be hard to uncover, but they're essential to understand if you want to create real cultural change. So how can people professionals, like HR practitioners or organizational leaders, use this model in practice? First, it helps with diagnosing and assessing culture. By looking across all 3 levels, you can get a fuller picture of what the culture really is, not just what it claims to be. This is especially useful during mergers, onboarding, or times of major change. Second, it's incredibly valuable for managing change. When you understand the deeper assumptions behind people's actions, you can aim for more sustainable, meaningful transformation, rather than just tweaking surface behaviors. Third, it helps align behavior with strategy. If the values an organization promotes don't match what actually happens, professionals can step in to close that gap. This supports authentic leadership and greater integrity across the business. Fourth, Schein's model can improve employee engagement. When the deepest assumptions in a culture support fairness, trust, and autonomy, people feel more motivated and are more likely to stay. It also helps HR teams design policies that reflect what employees really care about, not just what leadership says they care about. And finally, it's a powerful tool for supporting inclusion and belonging. Understanding the assumptions that drive behavior can reveal hidden biases or unspoken rules that make some people feel excluded. With that insight, organizations can move beyond slogans and create truly inclusive environments. In short, Schein's model gives us a layered, dynamic view of culture. It reminds us that what we see on the surface is only part of the story. For people professionals, it's a powerful framework that can guide real, lasting cultural transformation.